He stands completely astounded, looking around and trying to speak, but being unable to. They talk to him, complimenting him on his quirk usage, but scared of its potential. He has already unlocked 100% of One for All, but now he's getting to something even more special, the past wielder's quirks. He's confused at first before he remembers danger sense going off at the USJ. Before he can think of anything, he's woken up by Aizawa at the end of class. Deku waking up with his eyes wide open. He had to speak with All Might. Deku eventually finds him, sitting down and explaining what happened in the Vestige world. All Might's once again shocked, asking how he knows what any of them are. Deku, weirdly enough, does an almost instinctual knowledge to him. Him and All Might rush aside with Aizawa, and he begs them to show them off one by one. Black Whip, Bajin, Smokescreen, all of them except for Gear Shift. They both go nuts. This kid has like 10 quirks. From a distance, All for One watches, amused at Deku's progress. Deku from there picks his internships, picking Endeavor for this timeline. He was interested on how his quirk could make him and Shoto stronger. Deku arrives there and looks around. Deku was famous to a lot of them, some of them being fans actually. They show up to Endeavor's room, Endeavor explaining his reasons and telling them to suit up for patrol. They do so, and Deku would begin training, trying to keep up with Endeavor, which was actually pretty easy. He can fly, so. This would continue for a couple of days until suddenly they hear a huge explosion from a couple of blocks away. Deku, shocked, would rush out a window, checking it out. Something was attacking Hosu. They rush out, Deku, Todoroki, and Endeavor sweeping the area in Hosu, where the Nomus were. Deku's danger sense going off like nuts would begin straying off path, disconnecting with Endeavor and Todoroki completely as he rushed down a path to save someone, seeing instead a man standing over one of his classmates. Deku, without a second thought, slams Stain to the floor. Like, if you saw the scene, what would you do? Stain is knocked out completely by this, his head hitting the floor as Deku helps eat her up. He keeps gravity on Stain until the police arrive, locking him up once again. One for all, locking him up. Once again, All for One lurks, undetected, watching Deku grow physically and mentally. He grins, his twisted face beginning to plot. School is called back, and due to this, everyone is instead rearing up for the final exams. Loki, I don't want to cover it though, so I'm gonna skip it. Deku passes with flying colors, and they are told about the forest training camp, making their way there almost instantly, hopping on a bus and driving there, stopping there and doing their usual things on the mountain. They would train for 3 days, Deku the entire time working on mastering his other quirks, still kind of finding it a lot to handle at once, but to wind down from so much training, they're told they're doing a fun activity, a haunted forest. Deku is sent in alone like a cannon, walking around and looking in before the smell of smoke hits his nose. He looks around. He can't see any smoke. He jumps just above the tree line, seeing the smoke coming from about 100 meters into the forest. Not good. He rushes back to the teachers and tells them right away before going in, using his float and danger sense to take out some of the lower level ones like Toga, until he reaches Todoroki and Bakugo, watching from a distance as they fight Moonfish, seeing Mr. Compress sneaking behind them. He sticks a hand out and crushes him onto the floor, stopping him completely until he melts into mud in front of him. Horrified, he rushes over. He thought he killed him. In shock, he lost sight of Bakugo, letting him get captured right in front of him. By the time he looks back, it was all over. Everyone was gone, and Bakugo was nowhere to be seen. They're all horrified, rushing around. Where could he have gone? With no leads, they make their way back to UA. Momo once again telling them about her tracker on the Nomu. Deku doesn't even let anyone else think of it. He grabs it from her right away and rushes out the door. Everyone tries to stop him until they get hit with the 2 times gravity. This was his job. He flies over to Kamino Ward, thinking of what he should do. These sick freaks, stealing a kid like that. He flies top speeds, hearing an explosion in the distance as the raids also commence. Watching on from the distance, seeing All Might and the others already raiding the base. That's good at least. He drops to the side of the building and watches from afar as they raid the Camino War bar until they're all teleported away. Deku looking around as they appear about a kilometer down the road. He rushes over and once again watches from a distance, though about he thought about it for a second. How was he going to get Bakugo until someone he had never seen appears from absolutely nowhere? He stares on from the distance at the towering figure as he looks at his hand, All Might rushing from the side and clashing with him right away, Air Force and almost knocking Deku off the roof. He watches the battle go on, All Might versus All for One. Deku needed to help. He needed to get Bakugo out of there. He thinks for a second before deciding to act. He jumps down. He jumps in, flying over all of them before slamming gravity on all of them. 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 300. All for One doesn't flinch, instead looking Deku with a blank face. So you finally arrived. I've been waiting for you. He can't even react in time as he's impaled by All for One using his tendrils. Force Quirk activ- Sorry. Force Quirk activation. Deku's gravity goes haywire, activating on everyone in the area. Heroes, villains, and civilians alike. People start dropping to their knees as Deku screams, watching on as even All Might buffs down from this, the strain being too much for his weak form and end up crushing him. Deku watches on in horror as people begin slamming against the floor from the force of his gravity, doing nothing but watching. Deku grabs his head, vomiting before staring at All for One. He grabs the tendrils and snaps them, sending both arms out and pulling every bit of force into All for One he had, making a compressed box of pure gravity and forcing it onto All for One. His body contorts before exploding into red. People look on in horror. Heroes, civilians, villains. The illusion Deku was under begins to fall, All Might standing beside him as he stares on in horror. No, not like this. The helicopter rides overhead, recording every second of the fight. To them, Deku marched in there and killed someone in cold blood. To him, he watched everyone die, and although it saved everyone in the long run, no one knows what Deku saw, and so, to them, he's more than a villain. He's no more than a villain. All Might forced to lock him up, even though he's confused on what happened. A potential greater than anything smushed in an instant. All for One's plan working flawlessly. That's it. Please drop a like and subscribe, and also drop a comment if you didn't really understand that. All for One had it planned that he was gonna like put an illusion quirk on him. So Deku saw All for One kill everyone, but he didn't. It was just an illusion. So then Deku killed All for One, but to everyone else, it just looked like Deku just walked in there and just crushed this guy. So yeah, All Might locked him up, and that's the end of the story. Hope you enjoy, and have a good one.